Welcome back, guys. Episode number 96 coming at you here from Men Behind the Mitts. We've got one heck of an episode lined up for you here, guys. We got some great beer league championship talk, some new summer league starting for Silk over here. And also, we got a lot to cover here in the first round of the Stanley Cup Finals coming in. We don't know what's going on. We got a lot to talk about, some upsets, some knockouts, a sweep. Let me tell you guys, round one has been exciting. We got all the coverage here for you. Can't wait to get started. The hair looks good on there. I wish I had hair. That's how
I wish I had a beard. So
yeah, I wish I had a mustache.
It's camo.
I know it's blonde. It hums right in there. And when I dye
it looks like it's missing.
Yeah, I hate it on pictures. It looks like I'm Amish. And when I dye it, it burns my lip. That's why I stopped dyeing it. Because I was getting like burns. Welcome to episode 96 from Men Behind the Mitts. It's good to be back.
We're back, folks.
It's good to be back.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. We've got a lot to talk about.
Playoff hockey has been unreal.
All types of playoff hockey. Beer league playoff hockey.
Yep.
NHL playoff hockey.
All the things.
Man, and I've had so many random conversations. I love playoff time because, like, more people, they just tune in because they're interested. Like, they know it's the best of the best, you know? And I've been having more random conversations at work and just, like, out and about. You know, because I see someone wearing a jersey, I'm a little chirp or whatever, you know, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just, the more conversations, just because everyone's dialed in to playoff hockey, it's my favorite time of the year. So like, hands down.
It's like Christmas for hockey.
It really is, man. It's sad because it's here, but I know it's almost over.
Yeah, like it's almost over. Yeah. But it's like the best part of it, the best part is the end. That's what sucks. Then it's over.
Then it's over. Then you get the summer of that team, whoever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful sight.
No one's really I think in the last 10 years, I don't think anyone's had a Stanley Cup summer like Washington. I'm not saying that just because.
No, not just because. But everyone knows summer of the
people
OV.
Still talk about, even the pros bring it up like, I'd love to celebrate like Ovi and them.
Dude, in the fountain, just like, and just the way they went around town.
Yeah.
You know, just bar hopping with the trophy. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing.
But also as a testament to like their involvement in the community.
Yeah,
like, they felt comfortable doing that because like that's their backyard.
Absolutely.
You know, they're not just players playing in a city. Like this is their home.
And it's crazy that it's in DC, like of all places. Like they were in DC, you know, Georgetown, Annapolis, like they were all over.
Northern Virginia,
Yeah, it's crazy. And most of those guys live most of them live in Virginia, a couple live in DC.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. But
all areas we've been in and out of too. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
It's wild.
They're just regular guys.
They're regular guys playing puck.
It's crazy.
For a living.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the playoff atmosphere this year. I'm loving TBS and his involvement. I'm really the regular season I wasn't happy. You know, I really was just let down. But now, like, when you watch like Biz and the guys like fucking Charles Barkley, it's almost like they're just doing a big podcast.
Yeah.
Because they really don't know, they don't have much setup.
Yeah.
You know, like they have the one guy who's kind of like the ringleader.
Yeah.
He kind of keeps the topics going, but then they just start chirping each other.
And there's no filter.
Yeah,
like Biz talking about the lady behind the Dallas bench.
Yes,
you know, that's so close. I love the rawness though. Like that's like hockey guys.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's men in general kind of, but like that's the boys. Yeah. You know, you get that vibe, like the vibe we try to bring.
When Biz hitting what's his name in the nuts.
Cup check. Yeah.
So it's prime time. Like I love it. I love the atmosphere it brings. I love the professionalism of the NHL network. Always will. You know, these guys are top notch. But and then to see PK Subban's on ESPN Plus. You know,
he was on NHL Network the other night too.
Really?
Yeah.
He signed a playoff contract to deal with them.
Nice.
So like, and he's a great speaker. It's crazy how quote unquote hated he is in the league, especially after the year of Slewfoots.
Yeah.
You know, but like to have him in there, it's great to hear other hockey players talk about other hockey players. Like he's like, oh, the guy's a beauty. You know what I mean? Like, just the way they talk. And they're so familiar with each other on and off the ice. Really.
Definitely.
It just takes
you see someone so many times. You know.
Yeah, it takes the personal effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. And then, like watching, I was watching at the Toronto Lightning game the other night, and like Stamkos was in the corner, and they're like, "Oh, they've been playing together since childhood." As he cross checks, like
Tavares, they grew up playing together.
As he cross checks Tavares into the boards, I'm like, God, this is like childhood. And they're like, "All right, buddy," and like just skate away. Like, there's nothing better than that, man. It really is the best time of the year.
Love the game of hockey.
Yeah,
love the community, and that's what you get right there. You know, guys that grew up together now competing against one another for the greatest trophy in the world. On opposite sides.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
a beautiful thing, man. So before we jump into the NHL, let's backtrack a little bit.
We got to skate together.
Yeah, finally for the first time.
Wow.
On the ice. It was just a pickup or whatever. Not even a pickup.
We kind of effed off. We're just out there, but there was a few moments where you could tell we still had it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice to get the line together, me, you, and Steve, and just pass around and do deflections and take shots. It's nice. I can't wait till we're all out there together skating. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to it. And man, I've been playing a lot of hockey as of lately, just getting back out there more, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You had a championship game, right?
Yeah. So we had our beer league. Championship game on Sunday. Good game. Wow, was it a good game?
Really?
It was a good game. Yeah.
That's surprising because when we talked on the prior episodes, and you talked about just like where the league was at, obviously it's a newer league trying to stay together. A lot of new guys coming in, learning the game on teams and blah, blah, and a lot of scores got run up during the regular season. So to hear that you had some close playoff games and now it sounds like a close championship game, that's awesome.
It was, man, I'm telling you, it really should have been so here we had to, I hate saying this, but we had to earn our goals. You know what I mean? Like all of our goals were earned, like clean goals, shots, right? The final score is 8-6, ended up being 8-6, right? They did not have one legitimate goal. What I mean by that is everything was either a deflection or a juicy fat rebound. Like they did not score straight up. Like every shot that they took, Ken saved or we were blocking them.
That's the game though, right?
Yeah, and it was just like, dude, and at one point they took the lead and I was like, oh my God, I'm having like Caps Pens flashbacks because like every bounce was just going to them. Everything, I'd go to get off the boards and it would just literally like the puck would just jump over my stick. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it doesn't even make, like the bounces they got didn't even make sense. It was one of those type of games. And like, I remember looking at Ken a few times, our goalie, and being like, what the fuck, man? And I was like, I don't know. Like it just skipped right by me and right by him. And like, just like the dumbest shit. But other than that, everyone played a well-rounded game, a little chippy at points, which we knew was coming because when we got the lead back, we started targeting like a couple of our better skaters, just like hacking and whacking. And it's like, and I was telling the guys, like, this is what they want. Like, don't retaliate. You know what I mean? Like we really had to not retaliate. And it was tough. And we had a lot of penalties. Like we drew a lot of penalties because they were trying to get us to retaliate. And I was like, hey, just let them hit you. You got pads on. It doesn't fucking hurt. Like let them slash your leg. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like let it go. Keep skating. Like don't even look back at them. Don't do anything. And that did prevail. And that's also, and that what came down to it really is just us being smarter. Like, because they had all of the youth. Like our average age has got to be over 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we just outplayed them smartly.
Yeah.
Like that's what it came down to. And that's why I was saying it was a fun game.
Yeah.
Like it was good. Like we just had to play smarter than they did. And that's all that we did.
Was this the team that had that big scuffle?
Yeah.
Wow, they made it to the ship.
Yeah, yeah. So that's, I was like, man, going out there, we were like, oh, it's gonna get chippy. You know what I mean? I was like, well, don't. I said, don't let it get that. Like they can
play your game.
Yeah, like play our game. We know how to win. We've been winning all fucking year. Like I was like, they're the ones who have to earn the win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we just have to play hockey, And like it did get to that point. Like they were hacking me a little bit, and I was like, whatever, dude. I was like, draw a penalty. Okay, fine. Like, see you 2 minutes on the slash. Way to go, Bucko.
Yeah.
Like now we'll just go score. And then they did wrangle two of our guys in the retaliating, but it got to the point where like even like we were yelling off the bench, like, come on, man. Like that was the third time he'd done a cross check. Like it's like, what are you doing? And then our guy had to retaliate because it was just like beyond, got to that point. He's like, oh, both of you. I'm like, both? What the fuck are you talking about? He literally slashed him 3 times and gave him a cross check before our guy slashed him once. You know what I mean? Like you got to like at a point you had to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But it was a good game. Like nonetheless, it was a good game. The boys really skated well. I had to drop back to defense. I wasn't thrilled about that, but kind of had to. So I had to play a little bit more quarterback at home and get the plays going. And I do enjoy it. It was funny. I do enjoy playing defense, but it's not as exciting. Yeah. It's really not. I do like breaking out instead of I don't mind quarterbacking. I enjoy quarterbacking because I was telling those guys, and just part of being smarter, in the beginning of the year, our teams just throw a lot away, up the boards. I'm like, guys, what are we doing? I'd rather you put it deeper in our zone and we can come out together than ice it or whatever. I would rather us have to earn the breakout than just I'm tired, let me throw it away. No, that doesn't fucking work.
Give them possession.
So I would just tell the guys take your time. And then Lily got to a point where I was like, give me the we had a couple times. So I was like, give me the fucking puck. Let's just quarterback this. Reset. If there's nothing, come back into our zone. You know what I mean? We can start all over again. Try it again. No reason to force a red line pass. And I was like, there's a couple times where we had to do that. And I was like, just, reset, bring it back. Let's try again. Yeah. You don't have, just because you don't get in the first time doesn't mean you have to fucking.
Yeah, it's better to maintain possession.
Yeah. And we're not dump and chase hockey players. None of us have that endless legs where, okay, I'm going to dump it. No, you go get it. We're looking at you why? Why did you do it? We just got it back. Yeah, why did you do that? But yeah, man, great game. It was a great season with the boys. Interested to see what's going to happen next year, or not next year, but in the next couple months. Going to see what's going to happen with the league. So who knows? Who knows what direction we're going? But yeah, looking forward to it. But had a good time with the first time playing literally on our arch rivals team. You know what I mean?
That's weird. That was weird to hear when I first found out you're playing for them.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They built a team
to beat us,
to beat our team, and now you're playing on that team.
It was wild. But it was fun. It was nice. Cool. It was nice to play with those guys on that level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because those games were always chippy, but that's just because it was good hockey. Mm-hmm. And it was nice to play with them and stuff like that. But yeah, moving forward, definitely nice to have the name on the trophy again. It had been 2 years for the Misfits team since we had won. So it was nice to be a part of just a good win, But yeah, man, it was fun. Looking forward to the next season. Definitely got some stuff to work on, small things, mostly just cardio, stay after it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not running and you're not keeping the body moving and you're only playing once or twice a week, it ain't helping nothing.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I've got to stick into and get, keep skating and get back in the flow of all that stuff. But yeah. It was fun. Good to be back.
Cool.
Well, back. How about you? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Just started the new season. So we, had a game Tuesday, came back and won that one. Minute left in the third. Yeah, so that felt real good to battle back against a team of younger guys as well. We kind of one of the older teams in the league.
That's a thing. That's a thing now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And not to bash the team I'm on, I'm new there, but there are some guys that shouldn't be in A-League.
Right.
So there's some differences. There's a couple times where there's guys out there that get taken advantage of because there's a lot of young guys in this league. Being A-League, it's a lot of guys that are still, playing off season because they're in college. So the speed is very dramatic, but it's fun hockey. It's really fun hockey. So yeah, it's been fun to play with these guys and just learning everybody.
Yeah.
The first game I played with Warren and stuff like that. So there was instant clicking. We won that game, and then he ended up getting injured. And Warren being the guy that brought me on the team, I didn't really know anyone else. So the last few games, I've been kind of trying to find my path. And you know me, I'm a stick handler, I'm a playmaker. So I like to not necessarily dangle just cause, but I like to maintain the puck, draw possession, defense to me, and then make the play, create lanes when there aren't lanes there. And a lot of guys I don't know my playing style. So they're kind of turning off like, oh, he's just going to hold the puck. Like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not dangling just because I want to dangle. Yeah. I'm doing this because I'm trying to create your lane.
Yeah.
So now we've gotten to that point where they're starting to see how I play. I like a good cycle. Like, he likes to cycle. He likes to hold the puck. Okay. All right. So it's starting to turn in. I'm creating chemistry with a couple of guys on the team. Is starting to click out. We're really getting our chances. And I'm starting to tell guys, like, we got to talk. None of us are good enough not to talk out here. We have not been playing long enough. Tell me if there's a guy on my back, things like that, blah, blah, blah. So
I emphasize talking, bro. Like I tell, like that's always telling him. Like I was like, if I can't hear anybody, I was like, you might as well be out there alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and if I'm so good that I have my head up all the time with the puck, shouldn't be in this league. Right. Like realistically, so no one's a pro out there. So we just gotta pretty much pay attention to our weaknesses. Like not everyone's gonna have their head up all the time, even though you should.
Yeah. Well, especially just being older. Being older, like you have the opportunity. That's why I was saying like we just play smarter.
Yeah.
Like you've had the reps, and that's like I'm big on that with our team. I'm like, hey guys, you gotta talk. Like, if you're not talking, I'm supposed to look up, scan. Like obviously I'm gonna look up and scan. But if you're not doing anything or you're skating with your stick up, I'm not gonna pass to you if your stick's up.
Yeah.
Like give me something to pass to.
Yeah.
Move your legs. I don't know. It's pretty. at the end of the day, it's funny how simple of a game it is, but how hard
you can simplify it. Yeah, for sure. It's
all
all based off IQ. The smarter you are about the little things, the easier the game gets.
That's why I depend on a lot because I'm not the fastest. My legs have gotten a hell of a lot better, which is I'm in the league that I'm in now. That's a big savior for me. Believe it or not, like I got gas deep in the third, which is fantastic. But just like being able to look around is good for me. You know what I mean? Especially like when I do play defense and I have to carry it, or something like that. I'm just scanning the whole time, like waiting for someone to come across the middle. It's like you said, it's just reps on reps. Gotta use that IQ. You know what I mean? You really do, especially at our age. Because like you said, blasting. If you're doing a foot race with these younger guys, you're not going to win.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough battle. So yeah, it's been good hockey. I'm excited to see where the season ends up. We actually we can talk on this a little bit. Daniel Dangler, our boy Stevie's on the squad as a sub, and he actually caught a suspension.
Yeah.
30-day suspension.
30-day?
Yeah, so it would be 4 games, 1 game a week. So 30 days though. Yeah. From USA
Lord.
Hockey. And without divulging too much information here, this is the first I've ever seen this. Gets a penalty, takes the penalty, whatever, sitting in the box. Face-off is going down to happen in our zone. And he mumbles something under his breath.
Right.
We won't say what it was.
Yeah, we don't.
It's irrelevant. Ref didn't hear him. The scorekeeper heard him.
Yeah.
Scorekeeper runs over, calls the ref over, tells him what he said in the box under his breath. Boom. Done.
That's incredible.
And catches a suspension from it.
That's incredible.
He has to have a hearing with USA Hockey now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
From the scorekeeper. I laid into the ref. I said, he's a fucking scorekeeper. He's a hired employee for the rink. He can't make fucking calls. I don't care what he heard.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He was like, no, he's an extension of us. I said, then where's the sweater? Where are the stripes? If he's a fucking zebra, where are the stripes? I said, you guys are fucking, it was the most ridiculous. I've never in my life seen a scorekeeper make a call, essentially. He made the call.
That's nonsense, bro.
Yeah. So that was new. But the area we're playing in, Nova, you kind of like, yeah.
That's a shame. And it's not even like it was crazy. That's what's crazy. It's nothing that...
It's a word. If you're a 90s kid, you grew up saying everything all the time. But now it's wild, bro. It's wild. I feel like when you're on the ice, unless you can say something very dramatic or racist or something like that, like, let it go. Testosterone was flowing out there. We're men.
And it's
like, come on. You're really going to take them out for some slight shit like that? It was... I've never seen that. So I don't talk at all now.
I was going to say, you can't do it. So they started doing that down here. Where like, because guys would just like constantly chirping. I got like 10 minutes for telling this guy, like, I was like, your life's a joke, bud. And he was like 10 minutes. I was like, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to him. You know what I mean?
That's wild.
And I was like 10 minutes
They're taking chirping out the game now.
Yeah, I was like 10 minutes for telling someone who was chirping me the whole time. I wasn't saying anything. And he just kept going on. I'm like, dude, I'm like sitting here like, this kid's he's a loser. All that shit. I'm like, your life's a joke. I literally said that, and then he's like 10 minutes. I was like, let me earn a 10-minute fucking misconduct.
You want to see 10 minutes? I'll give you a reason to call.
Yeah, I was like, at this point, I wish I would have fought. Yeah, the only reason I didn't fight because I didn't want to sit down for that long. 10 minutes over the dumbest shit. Now I get it if I was like berating a ref. You know what I mean? If I was like, fuck you, you're a fucking moron. Like, okay. But it was between me and another skater, and we were already going to the bench or going to the box. I can't believe that.
That's ridiculous.
Now, I mean, like, look, I will say, referees, umpires, all these, they take a beating.
Yeah.
For little to no money.
Yeah.
And honestly, those are the people that keep the game going.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have them, it'd be pickup.
But at the same time, like, it's a very fine line because you do have those assholes.
That's a power trip.
That are like calling shit like, bro, what do you like? We have this one guy who refs for us in this league, and I get it's a league and we take it serious while they're competing, but at the end of the day, it's beer league. And like, we'll throw people out of the face off. Make sure you're like, bro, this is not the show. We're not in the show. You know what I'm saying?
You put a stick down too fast. Come on.
Yeah, like throw people out. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm just sitting there, just like, I'm on the other side of things as their guys get tossed out, and and the guy's coming in like, what the fuck? I'm just like, wait a minute, call it. I'm just standing. I have my feet spread apart and my stick on the ice. What do you want me to do? It's wild.
Crazy,
it's wild. So yeah, there are those power trips. You're right.
Yeah, it's a tough. I mean, look, it's a tough thing. Like, I'm getting ready to start doing it for younger kids. Just because I want to be involved, more with the sport and stuff like that. And it's like, I was thinking about it. And I was like, I don't want to deal with parents. Like, they're like, oh, bullshit call. It's like you're stupid. Like, stay up there. You know what I mean? Like, you've been watching your kid play hockey for 5 years. I've been skating since I was 3. Like, shut the fuck up. It's crazy, man. And especially in a game of hockey where literally it's a battle of inches. and so much can be determined by a hook or a slash. And it's like there's such a fine line between a penalty and a good slash or a good
and apparently at a certain time can decide the factor of the game.
Yeah, no joke, big time.
Tie game, third period, 5 minutes left. You call a penalty.
Yeah,
you kind of just sealed the fate of that one, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's a tough spot to be in. You got to make sure you're really on top of your shit. And if you're gonna let one thing go, you got to be able to call it both sides evenly.
Yeah, that's I imagine that's hard, especially. And I remember that when, man, I've got this video. I think I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but my dad went through like video. They were going through old VSH.
Yeah, you're talking about that, yeah.
Bro. And there's one of me hitting this kid. And I lay this kid out. Like, this was the first year we could start hitting. Oh, it was such a glorious time. But up until that time in my life, every time I went in the corner, I got a penalty because I would just wreck somebody. And I'm like, it's not fair. They ran into me. Like, it's not even fair, you know? So the classic big guy versus little guy. Like, I struggled with that growing up, like all of my hockey career. Because it was always just like, he ran into me and he fell, but I didn't even hit him. Like, if I hit him, he would have yard sailed. Yeah. You know, it's just... So like watching that shit, like looking back on it and being like, oh, I get it now. Like I was just like, I looked at myself, I was like a fucking bulldozer out there. It's a fucking problem. But yeah, man. So that and the influence of the ref on the game and everything like that. And what if he's having a bad day? You know?
Yeah,
like it's
he's like me like, fuck, I come here for $20 and
my fucking wife hates me here. I am refing this bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tough one.
Yeah,
Tough one.
It's tough, but let me tell you, we got to get away from this cookie cutter baby back bullshit. That's what I do know. It's so soft and everyone's feelings. We're
creating a soft generation, that's for sure.
Oh well. They'll find out. It's already
they'll find out.
I'm telling you, bro. You know what? But I'll touch on this one time. So the other night, Saving Private Ryan was on, and I was like, man, I haven't seen this in forever. And I watched that. Holy fuck, that movie, man! Like, to think, I mean, like I know there's already shit going on in the world. We're literally there's a war right now happening and stuff like that. But to watch, like them, like the storm the beach of Normandy and just drop a gate and literally everyone's dead in 5 seconds because there's people just waiting and the door drops like and like, oh, they're all dead. That was cool. Good try, guys. Let's try another boat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like these guys they were young. God, were they young men? You know, and it's crazy to think about that. That was real. And not even that long ago. That was 100 years ago. Not even 100 years ago.
Yeah. And to think like 18, 19-year-olds now couldn't handle that shit. Bro. They can't even handle, online abuse. Not to say that that's cool, online bullying and shit like that. But like to see where a generation of men were growing up then compared to now, the issues that men face growing up as an 18-year-old male. You don't even have to worry about war. These guys are being shipped off the war. You're worrying about, finding clicks and dances on TikTok.
Yeah, no joke.
It's wild.
It's crazy. And that's what I was looking at. I was like, wow, like I don't know nothing about no war. Like don't get me wrong.
But I've had this conversation with people like that era of men is just fading away.
Yeah.
Eventually there'll be men on this planet that have never seen war.
Well, there's people that don't even know. Like people don't even know that that's when that happened. You know what I mean? Like that did happen.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you
I've seen some crazy things where people are like talking about Hitler. He's a good guy. Like, did you not see what happened? Yeah. But it's obviously the younger generation who's just been ill-informed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It's so wild, bro. But yeah, anyways, back to hockey.
Yeah, not to get too sidetracked.
Playoff hockey has been so fucking exciting. It's crazy. The one thing I have noticed, as close as these series have been, as far as like a 2-2 series and a 3-2 series.
Oh, yeah.
The games have been lopsided in scoring. One time it's 5-1. Next game it's 7-2. But isn't that crazy? We haven't had too many, except for like 1 or 2 deep OT games.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. What was that? Boston and Carolina 3 overtimes.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's incredible watching these games. Like you said, a lot of them have been slanted. And man, when a team is buzzing in playoff hockey,
it's ridiculous.
And like the other night, like I was watching we can talk about them first, but the Toronto Tampa Bay series.
That's been my favorite series to watch.
It's like line. It's crazy. I was watching them. It's like Toronto's second line gets them in the zone, and then they just cycle out for Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. And it's like, when those 3 are in the zone, that is some of the best hockey I think I've ever seen in my life.
Bro,
like, it comes so naturally to that line. It's incredible.
I've been comparing Marner Matthews to Nicky Ovi.
Yeah. But better. It's almost better.
Way better.
Yeah.
The creativity from Marner is unreal. I think he's underrated, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
He's top 10, but like I think he's still underrated. The fact that he's playing with Matthews, like his creativity, his skill level, the things he does on the ice just are unmatched. Yeah. He'll be a Hall of Famer for sure. It's just crazy to think about so much talent on one team.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if I was a Maple Leafs fan that they haven't seen more success, because like this team is deadly. But we've seen guys like Willie Nylander, who didn't play too well the last few games and then gets demoted. And then we just saw last night comes out and he's a stud. Yeah. He's a complete stud. So they got to get some more consistency throughout the depth of that lineup. But man, they really have a great team.
Explaining consistency to other people that are like, oh, like how come it's hard to explain the flow of the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, how come they do this so well and then they're over here? Well, I'm like, well, there's multiple lines. You know, like some goals for a line is just to keep it in the neutral zone trap. You know what I mean? And then some goals are, it's heavy forecheck, get deep in the zone. You know what I mean? Trying to explain that to people in different playing styles, and then based on a head coach, how they like to run their team. It's hard to explain, but it's really interesting when you see it develop, and then you see them changing on the fly when they have possession and stuff like that. And I think Toronto is a prime example of them just capitalizing on their style of play.
Yeah. They're really in tune.
Yeah, and that series, Toronto's up 3-2. They had the chance to close it out. I believe they played Thursday, so they played the day this drops. This is Wednesday, so we're recording on a different day today, which is kind of awesome because we got to see more games happen before we got to record.
Yep.
But man, what an exciting series. Soup is just standing on his head for this team. Not downplaying the Lightning at all, because man, they are dangerous. When Kucherov and Hedman, Hedman is he's so, I forgot how big Hedman is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when you don't see him, we don't watch him every day, and then you watch him 4 games in a row. Mm-hmm. You're like, holy crap. Like, dude, that guy is massive out there.
Yep. Kucherov's been deadly Palat. And Braden Point is just unreal. Some of the battles he's won fast. For a guy that's won two Stanley Cups, he's playing like he's never won before. Right. And that's what it takes to win that cup.
Yeah, it's definitely seeing Braden Point and Mitch Marner on the same sheet of ice is wild. Like they have kind of a similar like playing style, just fast, barrel into the corner, make a move. It's incredible watching those two guys move the puck and then create opportunity. Just how much, and like, dude, watching Matthews, it's like he's like a shark. And you just kind of like see like all the fish kind of like get out of his way and then kind of come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, and I've seen him step up this playoff series, is his defensive side of the game. God, his back check is nasty. He has no problem 3 or 4 strides catching somebody and taking the puck from him. I love seeing that side of his game. Yeah. And he's really putting a testament that he's MVP. Like if I had to pick right now, he's MVP.
Yeah.
I love every aspect. He won the scoring race, and now he's making up for it in the playoffs with his defensive side of the game. Great two-way hockey player.
Yeah, then that's what it takes. It takes two-way hockey. You got to have all lines back checking.
And that's why Washington didn't see success until Ovi balled in.
Correct. Yeah, when you have someone like that top line, and they're not biting in and hard, and they're not taking chances on those opportunities, because man, even if you're not back checking hard, if you're just trailing that third or fourth guy, he can get that pass. He's still 3 feet in front.
Yeah, you're closing out lanes. You're allowing your demon to step up, knowing that there's a guy trailing behind him, even if he gets beat. Like there's so many different options you add just by putting in a couple seconds on the back check. Back check is huge. You can't back check it off the ice.
Definitely. All right, let's leave the Eastern. We like to do the Eastern second, obviously, just because the Caps are there. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Western Conference and talk about our first sweep, our first
elimination.
Yeah, our first elimination, our first victor, moving on to the next, and it's none other than the Avalanche and the Predators. Avalanche came out big time here, swept the Preds 4 games in a row, and not just swept them, but put some fucking work on them as well.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that the way that the NHL has set up the playoff format, it's rigged, and there's teams getting in that shouldn't be in. That should be the top 8, and forget this wild card side of things.
Interesting.
And Nashville was one of the teams that are saying they shouldn't be there, and I think it was a kind of clear-cut case for a lot of people. Avalanche came in and barrel rolled. The way better team, obviously, in comparison than Nashville. Nashville just – I know they put up a fight, but they didn't stand a chance against this Colorado team, who's honestly a cup contender.
Yeah, and let's sidestep real fast. I can't believe people are saying that, considering then you look at the Caps Florida series.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you say that?
Yeah,
I mean it's just the West. We just do that for the West and just do top. Top
no idea. The West. No idea,
because you really can't count anyone on the East out, in my opinion.
No, it's too much depth.
Yeah, they're all these are all close series on the East. You know what I mean? But sticking with jumping back to the Avs and Preds. I mean, while where the Avs just buzzing. They're clicking right away.
Lost their goalie too.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind. Lost
the
goalie back
Kemper with an eye injury.
Yeah.
Does he have a timetable?
I haven't heard a timetable return. I'm assuming with this sweep and this much time off now, which is a blessing for Colorado, they're going to be well rested. They shouldn't have any issue getting him back, hopefully. No joking. Crazy. And there's a reason why there's masks. Darcy was having he has a cat eye. Goalie masks, which are huge. Like you can almost get a puck in there. You can almost wedge a puck in there. But one of the Predators, I think it was Forsberg, if I'm correct, he was in front of the net and just battling in front of the net with another Avalanche player, and his stick, as Kemper's looking at the play, his stick came right up into the cat eye and hit him in the eye. Who knows how bad the damage is? That's the thing about hockey. They never come out and say, retina, damage to the retina or blown ACL. No, it's lower body or upper body. They don't ever give you too much information. It's scary too, because I've been in that situation where I had someone stick check. I stick checked someone, or I forgot how the way it played out. Anyway, his stick caught me right here, down the eyebrow and down to the nose, and right so close to the eyebrow. It's so scary because when it first happens, you're holding your eye, you feel the pain, you're like, oh my god, you know, your hands filling with blood. It's a scary situation. So hopefully he didn't get direct eye contact. And it's more or less just an injury close to the eye, preventing him maybe with swelling from opening all the way, and he'll be back. I expect him back next round.
So you gotta have full range of vision.
That's especially in that position.
But just touching on the Avalanche before we move on again. I mean, Cale Makar, Nate McKinnon. I mean, people are talking about Makar already going to the Hall of Fame, one of the best defensemen to ever touch.
There's no one like him. The way he plays, the way he sees the game, the way he's able to just attack offensively, it's unreal. The way he is able to close the gap on offensemen is crazy as well. His defensive IQ is next level.
And he walks a tightrope on that blue line, man.
He's a beautiful skater.
And he's got hands, not afraid to make the move. Like when you see some guys make a blue line move, you're like, oh no. But when you see Makar make the move, you're like, oh, he's.
Did you hear? He said the Nashville fans were throwing Skittles at him. Wild. But so Colorado, first team to move on to the next round. It's been a tight race as we move on through these series, though. The next one, which one do you want to hit on?
Let's do Minnesota, St. Louis. This is another tight race over here. St. Louis has got the lead on them 3-2 right now. I'm really wishing we had more time to get all these series in here, but the next podcast is going to be even better because they're going to be whittled down a little bit more. Most of these, I think if they're going to Game 7, they'll be like Saturday, Sunday. So, but the Blues wild. St. Louis leading the Blues 3-2, which I'm kind of shocked with.
Me too.
I'm not downplaying the Blues, but I thought the Wild were going to be a little bit more dominant in this series.
No, 100% agree with you there. I have the Wild winning this series. I think they still can, but you're really starting to see some players step up that a lot of weight is put on their shoulders. For instance, St. Louis, Tarasenko getting a hat trick in the third period last night. That's huge. That kind of solidifies the win right there for him. Even though Kirill Kaprizov was playing a great game, had 2 on the board himself. It's a battle of the stars in this one.
Absolutely.
The goaltending has been a battle itself. Bennington in net for St. Louis, Fleury in net for Minnesota. So it's been a goalie battle as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a fast series. This is a really fast matchup, which I'm a big fan of. And you're getting to see like from the Blues, like Ryan O'Reilly, really having a top-notch year. He's such a big presence on the ice for them, really making the moves, getting in there, solidifying some goals and assists. It's incredible to watch, these pillars of that team. Like you said, it's a star-studded battle, really in this matchup. And to see these guys, going back and forth, and the Blues are on top right now. Not what we suspected.
Do the score breakout. This is what I was just talking about. Yeah. The series are so tight, but then the games are so. Just for instance, Minnesota Wild. Go through the scores.
So game 1, Blues with a shutout, 4-0. Blues beat the Wild 4-0. Game 2, like what you were just saying, Wild comes back, beats them 6-2. 6-2. Like where was this the first game? You could divvy those up, Then we come into our third game, Wild beat the Blues again, 5-1. Putting up big points here. Coming to game 4, Blues come back on them 5-2. Here we go again, game 5, Blues win 5-2. Like you said, the scoring, it's a fast-paced game. This postseason is a little bit different. I feel like this is the best hockey we've ever seen, and it keeps getting better.
I love me some OT. I think the Rangers were the first ones to go 3 OT versus Pittsburgh this playoff round, but no OT games. You're not really seeing too many OTs. We got one in LA and Edmonton, but things like we're not seeing late games. They're normally kind of done by the third period. You already have a game winner. It's been easy to switch back and forth to which game you're watching.
No joking. Let's jump. Well, so we were talking about the Wild and Blues here. We both had Minnesota picked. I had them in 7. You had them in 6. If we're going to win, it's going to go 7 here.
Yeah,
they got to get these next 2 games back to back. So going to be an exciting.
What was the call for the Nashville Avs? What did we have on there? How many games?
I had 5. I had the Avs in 5. You had Avs in 7.
Really? Yeah. I gave Preds a lot of credit.
You gave them a lot of credit. I said 5. I figured they'd win 1 at home just because Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville didn't pay off to them. And it's crazy, not the backtrack here, but what's going to happen with this organization? Forsberg asking for a trade, things like that, and Duchesne having a great year. It's going to be interesting to see, you know.
And they might not. They're going to have to fill some space, you know, if that's what's going to happen. Yep. So going to be interesting to see what happens for them next year. Let's jump over to the Flames and Stars.
Yeah, another great series that I was not expecting. I was expecting one team to win a lot more than we saw, but whew, what a battle. Playoff hockey brings out the best in both sides.
Everything's fine.
I'm alive.
He's just kicking my ass. Back to the Flame Stars. Series is tied at 2-2. What are we looking at here with this? You said this is definitely going a little different than you had anticipated. And this has been a lot tighter of a series as well. Talking about scores, I mean, these scores are almost the complete opposite of what we just went over with the Wild Blues here. Low-scoring games, 1-0, 2-0, 4-1, 4-2 here. But the Flames really thought I had the Flames in 5. You had the Flames in 5. I had the Flames in 6. And we got a tied 2-2 series here.
Yeah. So game 5 is going down. Yeah. I expected Calgary to kind of pull away from this one. I didn't think Dallas was really there just because they had to battle all season just to make the playoffs.
It's incredible. They were so far behind. Like we talked about it, like they were there. You know what I mean? At one point, they were 11 games behind in the schedule?
Like yeah.
And here they are in the postseason.
Yeah.
Not what we expected at all.
Playing great hockey too. You've seen Jamie Benn really stepping up, things like that. I think it more or less falls back on Calgary though. Calgary hasn't really played great every single game, and that's what you need. You need, like we saw with the Avalanche, they played their game every single game and took care of business. I expected the same thing out of Calgary, and I'm not seeing regular season Calgary right now except for a few times. Johnny Gaudreau has looked great. Yeah. I'd like to see more out of Tkachuk on the scoring board.
Yeah, he hasn't been putting. I think Kachuk's been kind of wrangling this whole team. He's been kind of wrangling Dallas as a whole.
And he gets pulled into things because of playoff hockey, the physicality. Jamie Benn's calling him out. He's got a lot going on. Yeah. So he walks a thin line to begin with.
Yeah, because he is a star-studded. I mean, he's one of their top forwards, but the guy's not afraid to throw the hands, throw the body. You know what I mean? He's going to be in the mix. So you're going to find him scoring goals. You're going to find him in the fights with Klingberg, getting tangled up with Ben. You're going to find him in these scenarios as well, just like we said. But Markstrom, I think, is playing pretty solid in the net for Calgary. I expected a little bit more of him. Maybe he needs a little bit more support, just to keep this game. Like I said, these are tight games too, so no one's really running away with these games. But Markstrom, I thought, it has been playing pretty well here. 2 shutouts, I think, in this postseason. 2 or 1. 1 shutout so far in the postseason. But I mean, he's playing well. Like you said, I want to see a little bit more buzzing up front with Calgary, and Dallas is doing a great job of just disrupting all of their flow. They really are. That's what they're doing, in my opinion.
No, yeah, 100%. Markstrom, one of my goalies in the top 3 for a Vezina, so I expected big things out of him. But Calgary's got to pull it around. I still think they're going to come through with it. I just don't see Dallas being able to overcome it. But if Calgary could potentially hand it off to them,
they really could. And I wanted to touch on Ottinger real fast. I wanted to get his stats pulled up here. But yeah, man. So in the playoffs here, 2 wins, 2 losses, goals against 1.53. In the playoffs. I mean, you really can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
From Jake Ottinger here. Big goaltender too, man. 6'5", 220. Big boy.
Yeah, definitely.
But so I really think Dallas has what it's take. Pavelski's still having a top tier season, and you got Seggs back here. These guys have been here before, but like you said, they haven't gone deep, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get past Calgary. And I think, and I said earlier a lot that there wasn't much pressure on Calgary, and really there kind of is now.
Yeah,
this series is a little tighter. I mean, if they don't get past this first round, they've got a lot of pieces of the puzzle here. That's what's kind of scary.
Yeah, and I really am pulling for them and Edmonton to win because I'd love a battle of Alberta in the second round.
Yeah,
how deadly would that be?
Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun playoff hockey for sure.
So I had Calgary in 6. You had Calgary in 5. So I mean, it's definitely going deeper than that.
Yeah,
6 is still an option here. But hopefully
5 is out.
Yeah, 5 is out. So hopefully Calgary can make some moves. And like you just said, let's jump over that other matchup: the Oilers versus the LA Kings.
Another one that just blown my mind.
Holy crap! LA's up on the Oilers 3-2.
Did you see this coming?
No, I did not see this coming. But look,
either. But I slept on
I didn't
LA
see it
all
coming, but
season.
who called for the upset in 7? This guy. I called for the LA upset in 7 games, and the way it's going, it might go 7.
Yeah, it might. I think I have the Oilers in 6?
Yeah,
that's not happening now. I've been off. I've been off. I had a lot of high hopes in these teams that played well all regular season. I should have known better because playoff hockey is a different breed. But we've seen a lot of great hockey from the Kings. Kempe the other night getting the game winner in OT, so deadly. Kopitar and Dustin Brown leading with their veteran experience. They've got some great players out there. Iafallo, Asanasiu as well, also out there. Jonathan Quick's been a stud standing on his head between the pipes. So LA definitely has the roster to do it. I just thought Edmonton, this is their time.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not over. It's a best of 7 for a reason.
Yep.
After a loss, McDavid has come back and played deadly. So it just needs to stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? We saw him making beautiful plays the other night, even though they lost in OT.
Yeah.
Great plays to Draisaitl and such. Evander Kane has been huge in the playoffs for them. A great
6 points for Kane.
A great pickup for them. They've got to think about signing him for maybe a 3-year deal after this playoff, even if they get knocked out, just because he's such an addition to this team. He really opens up lanes for McDavid, giving someone to dish off to and produce points. Hyman's also been a great addition as well. I think could fall back on goaltending here for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, so they're not going to have any easier game this next game with Darnell Nurse catching that 1-game suspension through the old headbutt. We talked about a headbutt previously on this podcast before, which is hilarious. But, yeah, threw a nice little headbutt. Got a 1-gamer. Definitely not what you want to see from one of your better defensemen.
Yeah, that guy's got a big paycheck, and this is why. It's not only regular season, but he's getting that big paycheck because they want to win championships, which means you need to be in every single game.
Yeah, no joke.
And a little silly on his part to take that one because that's just one of those things you're just not going to get away with.
Not
it's like spitting or something like that. Like it's just instant. It's
especially
instant.
When there's a scrum almost after every save, when you're in there battling tight for rebounds, stuff like that, there's going to be a scrum.
You've got 2 minutes.
Where do you think the camera's going to be? Where do you think all the refs and linesmen are going to be?
You're not getting
looking at the net, and my man throws a headbutt. What's that? A headbutt, right?
Hey, how you doing?
Right at someone's face, and it was it was not sneaky.
It was not nonchalant at all.
Yeah, it was not sneaky. It was a good old forehead headbutt. But definitely going to be a loss to them. Oilers are going to notice it, I think. Going to have to stand a little taller on defense because of that. Darnell Nurse is a big body as well and knows how to move the puck up the ice.
Yeah, great defensive player, for sure. Yeah. I don't know if he's worth the money like we've talked about before.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan of that.
We talked about that when the season started. The Oilers made some big paycheck moves and didn't really change much.
Yeah. But we'll see how it plays out. If they're in the first round knockout, maybe they'll learn from their mistakes. I doubt it, but I'm still pulling for the Oilers to win this one.
So in a situation like this, when you're on a team, when you're McDavid, when you're Nugent Hopkins, when you're Draisaitl, and this happens year after year, what's the next move? Like what do you talk to the office? Do you let them know what your thoughts are as their star-studded line? I mean, what do you demand more from the office? What do you ask for here?
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that when you're the star of the team and you're paid to win games based off the contribution of the team they're going to put around you. Hey, we're going to pay you this to do this, and we're going to give you this around you to help you do so. And it's not really following through. You kind of have to start asking questions like, what's going on here? That's why I wasn't appalled to Eichel winning it out of Buffalo. Right. Kids never played playoff hockey. I know there's a lot of drama going on with that now, but when you see a star player like that, who's essentially the face of the league.
Yeah, no joke.
And he's not playing playoff hockey. Obviously McDavid's in round 1, but if he's not in round 2, round 3, or making a chase for the cup,
it's tough.
What's going on here? Yeah. The best player in the league is knocked out because of the supporting cast. I don't know. It's a tough one. Edmonton's a franchise that knows what it takes to win. Yeah. So it's very surprising, but as of late, they haven't. I mean, they've had how many first-round picks coming out of there? Nugent Hopkins, one of them. Taylor Hall, one of them. Eberle, one of them. How many times is it going to take before they get it right? Yeah. They've obviously done something right. McDavid, Draisaitl, but you can't can't rely on those two. It's
tough, man. And we know that 2 guys can't win a Stanley Cup. We can't even get out of the first round.
And the crazy thing is, McDavid is the guy that can win a game for you. But it's a best of 7. And so you can't rely on him for all 7 to be the guy.
Yeah, you can't expect the razzle. I mean, this kid's incredible. You know what I mean? You can't expect the razzle dazzle on every single play. You know what I mean? But when he turns the Jets on and finds that open lane, magic happens. But you can't expect him to do that and get every goal for you. Not in this league. Not in playoffs.
I think we're a little far away from seeing him make any type of statements or anything about maybe even thinking about a trade or anything like that. But you have to know the frustration. Yeah, he's old school mentality. Yep. He was drafted by them. He wants to win there. Blah blah blah. But I think we're getting close to the boiling point of what something's going to have to change here.
No joke. So I don't know. Like I said, I got LA in 7, possible upset here. That was my biggest upset on the West. So we'll see how that one plays out.
Yeah, it looks like you might have called that one. Should have put some money on that.
No joke. Let's jump over to the Eastern Conference here. Let's just touch on Toronto, Tampa Bay real fast. We already did a brief synopsis on them, though.
I already said it. One of my favorite series to watch. It's been so fast. There's so much skill in these battles. It's been a lot of fun to watch this hockey.
Oh, I just looked out on our sheet here. So you had the Leafs in 7. I had the Bolts in 7.
Yeah, and it goes against the one.
That kind of hurts my heart because I want the Leafs to win.
Well, that's why when we said this last episode, we made this. I said I when I did the money one, I picked the Bolts. I was smart about it. But when I was doing yours, I was a little more honest. I want the Leafs to win. Yeah. I really do. But you cannot count out Steven Stamkos.
No,
you can't count out Hedman and just the line.
Defending champs. I mean, you can't count them out.
Yeah, Pat Maroon. Crazy. Yeah, Corey Perry, like they have the lineup to do it again, and they have arguably one of the better goalies in the league.
They really do.
So it's been crazy to see, but I love Toronto. I love ever since I watched that Amazon special on them. Obviously, I was a Poppy fan, USA hockey player. I love Mitch Marner as well, just because his playing style. I love to emulate him. But after watching that Amazon special, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's like behind the bench or something like that. Like follows him for a season. I really fell in love with that team, bro. Just their personalities. It's Soup, Jack Campbell is just a great, genuine guy, dude. You really want to pull for guys like that.
Every save watching that game the other night, the Soup. I'm like, oh my god, the chills.
I love the MVP chance for Matthews, especially when they come after a back check or something like that. Like, we've been there as Caps fans. I really want the Toronto franchise. I know they won them a bunch, but that shit don't mean nothing. That was back before there was however many teams, and that that's irrelevant now. I really want to see this franchise see success and at least make it to the second round.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really pulling for them. I think if they can overcome this battle with Tampa Bay, that's a feather in their hat, and I think there's a lot of confidence going into the next round. A lot though goes to Spezza apparently having a big first intermission speech in the locker room that really apparently the guy said that won the game for him, that really piped everybody up, and that's the leadership you need. That's why he's there.
You need to have that older set of guys in there for that reason, and Spezza's a prime example of that. You got these young guys, Matthews, Marner, that are they're magical.
Nylander.
When you fire them up even more, man, when they want to earn that win, it's something happens.
Yeah. And before we get off, the last thing I'd like to say about this is Bunting, candidate for Rookie of the Year. That guy has been so impressive.
Young guy too.
The way he plays such an aggressive game, but yet fits so well with Marner's Matthews, and he produces on the board. It's going to be a tough one for the Rookie of the Year.
Watching him win some puck battles too, the ones you wouldn't suspect. He pops them out of there and just keeps moving.
Didn't even play first game.
Right.
It was a healthy scratch. Yeah. And then he came in for the suspension, and wow, they should have been playing him the whole time. That's silly on their part. It's crazy
when someone takes an opportunity like that and really seizes it, and cements that, hey, I need to be here. Yep. So good for him. Like you said, great Rookie of the Year candidate. Exciting to see. So this is Toronto leads that series 3-2. So we'll see how that goes. I've got the Bolts in 7. Still got Toronto in 7, even though we both want Toronto to win. You gotta give these guys a second.
If Toronto wins, I'm out the money.
Yeah, but who cares? I care. But it's the Leafs. You know what I mean? God, dude, everyone knows that they need it. Poppy needs it. Marner needs it. Vasilevsky, they need it.
There's a lot of pressure on this lineup. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure on this lineup. And
how do you have the MVP when you're not getting out of the first round? It's just like when you look back on McDavid and his struggles. It's crazy.
It'd be cool kind of to see too. I mean, obviously we're Americans, but to see if Calgary and Edmonton and Toronto can make it through, see so many Canadian teams in the playoffs. And it's been a while since we've seen that.
It'll be interesting for sure. Let's jump over to one of my other favorite matchups right now, Carolina and Boston.
Yeah.
This has been a tight series. Carolina's leading the series 3-2 right now.
Was not expecting what we've seen so far, to be honest with you.
Me either. Boston's really, man, they're such a wishy-washy team. They're not wishy-washy, but man, they're fucking on. Mm-hmm. These boys are hard to stop. You get Marchand in a groove, you get him in a groove with the puck, you get Pastrnak.
Pastas looks so deadly. He's had some beautiful plays. I think Marchand was going to set a record for consecutive points in games played or something in a playoff the other night. So this team's played a lot better than I expected. Carolina went in the first two. Yeah. Boston comes back and wins 2 in Boston, I believe is how it went. And then go back to Carolina and the Hurricanes win. Yeah. If that's the way it's going to play out, you have to assume Carolina wins that one in 7. Boston's got to steal one here. But the fact that they're even in contentions of this is crazy to me. I thought Carolina was going to take one in Boston and kind of run away with it. And we were looking at a 3-1 series maybe. Because what I call
you got Carolina in 6, I had Carolina in 7. So
I was expecting Boston to win some. Like you can't count Boston out. Yep. And sure enough, they're showing exactly why.
Yeah, I mean Carolina's really been putting the gas on it, man. This is a younger, fast team. You know, Aho's really been doing some work. I do want to touch on the Marchand Tony DeAngelo.
Oh wow!
So we all know Marchand is a chirper and loves to be in people's faces, but he was yelling to Tony DeAngelo. He's like, "You're a racist. You're a racist." Just like on ice. I'm like, bro, this is so, man.
That's next level petty.
Yeah, like that the personal life touch.
Yeah,
you know, is a bit much.
Yeah.
But man,
those are fighting words too.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get fined for that. Like I really am surprised he didn't get fined. Especially when you find Pat Maroon and Wayne Simmons for just basically chirping each other about wanting to fight, but yet you can bring up something.
But Marchand gets away with calling someone a racist. Like that's not something you should. That's like going around and claiming, you know, I hate to say the other R word, but rape. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something you can't joke about.
Yeah, it's intense, especially in today's climate. Yep. You know, so to see that be done and for no repercussion, that's a typical Marchand.
I think if that would have been called on a mic and got national coverage, it would have been a different story. But the only people are seeing it are headlines on Hockey Post and things like that. And we're not going to say anything. We're going to let it go.
The lightest sport in the world. No one really gives a fuck about that.
Tough L there. But yeah, very funny to see DeAngelo though. I applaud him coming back and making a staple in his career. You know, getting tossed from the Rangers for the internal conflicts with the Shesterkin or Georgiev, whoever it was, and now getting another chance. And he's really thrived down in Carolina. He's been a great addition for them. Aho has been great. Teravainen, Svechnikov. These guys are playing great hockey. Carolina's another team I love to watch, man. Very fun. A Carolina-Toronto series would be deadly.
Oh, man, that would be a fast-paced game because the Bruins are bringing a little bit more physicality than I think Carolina likes to play with, and I think that's why they're in the situation they're in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, you got those guys up front that are just wheeling and dealing with the puck. But I mean, Trocheck's having a hell of a playoff run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jordan Stahl, good to see him still in the lineup.
Yeah, producing too.
Producing, you know, and then that's where that IQ comes in. You get these older guys that have been here a little bit, you know, and they're able to kind of wrangle the younger guys up and get them really in shape here. And I think that's what's happening in this case. But yeah, I mean, Carolina is definitely going to be making a push here for them. Rantna with going 2-1 so far, and Kokichev with 2 games in the playoffs. But, you know, keeping the goals against as well. The scores have been all over as well for Boston, and that's what I mean. You never know when these guys, that top line is deadly. Like you said, Pasta, when he gets the puck, man, he just makes so much happen.
None of their games have been close.
No, he's so patient, and that's what I mean. They've been blowouts either way. Hurricanes 5-1, 5-2. Bruins come back 4-2, 5-2. They've been
and then Carolina again another night 5-1 So
it's incredible.
It's been wild. We'll see how this one plays out.
Definitely looking forward to this one. And Boston is doing better than I thought they were going to do. I had them going to 7, but just the overall gameplay, especially how they were coming in wishy-washy on the end of the season.
Yeah.
They almost weren't going to be there. You know. And
they really had a deflating moment, and then I think it was after the Olympics / All-Star break, they really turned things around and came in hot. And I think that's why they've been able to compete with such a great team like Carolina.
And they're consistent. That's the thing, is when you got the All-Stars like that, they might not all pop off on the same night, but man, they got depth and they're a consistent squad. So I mean, they could definitely still throw a wrench here in the Hurricanes' plans. Definitely, you know,
very similar to the Florida Cap series. I think they kind of weren't expecting such a fight back from a wild card team. Yeah,
let's go ahead and jump into Florida Caps, and then we'll touch on our Rangers in Pittsburgh. But let's jump back to Florida and Caps. Series is tied 2-2, and let me tell you, keep texting me, keep asking my opinion, keep asking what I'm thinking, because as of right now, the Capitals are outplaying the number 1 team in the league.
Listen, I went against the grain. I said it. I really thought Florida was in the bag, and it was unfortunate the Caps had to play them first round, but I was holding my word.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Silk had Florida in 5. Florida in 5. Even this guy calls himself a Caps fan.
Die hard. Don't get it wrong. I was just trying to be intelligent about my picks. And if you base it off the regular season,
yeah,
you kind of had to lean that way. And then boom, Caps lose Willie, which is a tough
loss, but lower body injury, tough loss on that one.
I think the Caps could pull it out. And I'm not saying that obviously because I'm a Caps fan and what they've done, but just because if they can get needs to be larger goal deficit than just one. They need to be up by 2. And I said this to you when we were texting. Florida analytically is a third period team. Yeah. Under 10 minutes in the third period, Florida has put up astronomical numbers as far as scoring goes. And they showed it to us the other night.
Aggressive
Caps up by 1
as well.
Caps up by 1. They pull a goalie.
3 minutes left. 3 minutes left.
Yeah, Hathaway gets the unlucky bounce going from the empty net, catches the outside of the net, just inches away from sealing the deal. What's Carolina do? I mean, Florida do. They come back, score, take it to OT, and we know how that ends. Yeah. And now we've got a tied series instead of a 3-1 Caps lead.
3-1 going into Florida.
Wow. But you can't count them out. The goaltending's been wishy-washy, but I think Sammy is really coming in.
Sammy's earned the spot, in my opinion.
He's the guy.
I don't think V needs to go back in unless something happens to Sammy. Hoping nothing does. But, again, another goalie to see him really step up, making some big saves, routine saves as well. You know, a lot of the squeakers get by on Sammy. He's really kind of shut that down in this postseason. But making big saves and to have the crowd behind him, you know, he needed that.
Ovi taking the lead with playoff goals. He's been obviously one of the guys you got to count on. You got to expect compared to last year where he was almost a ghost. Is a huge difference. But my eyes have been set on 2 players, and that's Kuznetsov and Oshie.
Okay,
those 2 guys have really stepped it up. Oshie was not doing too hot. Towards the end of the regular season. You were kind of starting to question, is he diminishing? He found that spark. It's playoff hockey. He knew what he was doing, and he's really been an eye-opener for me. I've really been impressed with his gameplay.
So I can't agree more on Kuznetsov. He is 2018 form. I think he's better now than when he was in 2018.
Yeah, he's got that IQ now, right?
His IQ, experience. He's so patient on his goal the other night, so patient to let him sprawl all the way out before he took that shot. But zone entrance. So here's my top players right now for the Capitals. You went with 2. Kuznetsov, obviously. Connor Sherry. Got to mention this guy. One of the hardest working Capitals on the ice and all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Orlov, talking about zone presence, talking about getting in front of his defenders and offensemen and really doing the breakout, leading the charge himself. Really happy with his play and his confidence. The confidence is up. Looking really, really good. And I was going to say Ovechkin, seeing him step up the way he has, really getting in on the back check. I've noticed he's a guy I look for to back check. You know, I'm like, is he hustling? Is he doing what he's doing his part? He's been doing his part. He's been getting in there. Not only that, laying some big hits. Kind of got to set the tone when Willie's not in there, you know?
Yeah.
Hathaway doesn't really get the ice time that Willie gets.
Florida kind of has been a little more aggressive knowing they can get away with things. And I think it'd be a completely different series if Willie was in there.
I agree. I think Florida's been taking advantage of Wilson not being in there, which is smart because I don't even want Wilson to fight anymore, but just the presence.
The presence. Him being there, just knowing that if he decides to make a switch and, you know what, I'll go take a 5 real quick.
Yeah.
And you being on the other end of that, you're going to think twice.
Well, that and not only that, but with the matchups you give to Wilson, Svechnikov, you're putting him, Barkov, you're putting him on the ice with these guys where if he's got his head down, he's going to take advantage of that.
And if Willie is battling Barkov all series in a best of 7, Barkov's going to take a fucking beating unlike any other. You know, regardless if, you know, maybe he gets 1 or 2. Having to battle against Tom Wilson physically is going to be brutal.
I do want to give a shout out to 2 defensemen. TVR really stepped up so far, and also Faye Harvey.
I was going to say this when you said you added extra players. If I would have added 3, Faye Harvey would be one of my top 3 players.
He was shutting down Barkov in the corners.
Great defensively, but I love the way he's been aggressive offensively too.
He's got a shot.
Yeah, he's not afraid to dangle, not afraid to make the move to try to score. And I love that out of a young kid like that. That's been great.
I think they've been playing well. Sammy's definitely going to be my moving forward guy.
I love that they brought in McMichael. I sent a text out, you know, when he didn't get the first call in after Willie's first game they missed. They bring him in for the 3rd game. Yeah. I know he hasn't produced yet, but this is this type of experience we need this kid to have. Yeah. And I think he's kind of running away with it. He hasn't obviously been producing on the board, which we'd love to see, but he's not an embarrassment either. He's not out there getting exposed, and that's huge. One thing I do think the Caps need to kind of turn around and it'll solidify them running away with this series is Mojo and Mantha. I've seen a few times where they've kind of been off sync, and Mantha's calling for the pass and just gets looked off by Mojo, and vice versa. If we can get Mantha, Mojo, Nicky, that line to buzz and get on sync, that's deadly.
I was going to say that you can tell not the confusion, but there's like some static on that line.
Yeah, and Mojo just came in a few weeks ago. Let's be realistic here. And Mantha didn't play all season.
Exactly.
So they're both kind of just trying to get into their groove, one with a new team, one just in general.
But we get Mantha, we get that line scoring. I mean, Mojo's been playing great. I'm really happy with the pickup. I was nervous before. Really, really playing great now.
Yeah.
Mantha's just been kind of all over the ice, in my opinion. Hasn't been really solidified with the puck.
Another guy that really doesn't have too much playoff experience, though. We got to keep that. His whole career's been in Detroit, so that playoff experience just isn't there. And so coming off a year where he missed 6 months and no playoff experience, this is kind of like a first for him. So he's going to test the water. So we don't see too much out of him. You can't chalk it up to he's not good, but I definitely would expect some more from him.
I just want to see him let that puck fly.
Yeah, he's a shooter. He's got to shoot.
You got to let him shoot.
Very deceptive too with the shot. He can get it in close quarters. It doesn't matter. So definitely, I agree with you. And if we can get Mojo to start making some of these beautiful plays that he can with Nicky there and looking for almost Mantha to be in that OV position.
Yeah. I've been happy with Mojo's forecheck. He's been really on him. But let's touch on Florida, though. Bobrovsky really keeping him in there, man. Like I said, the Capitals, in my opinion, have outplayed Florida in every game. Even the games that we've lost, we've outplayed Florida. Yeah. Bob has been keeping the Panthers in on this one. Yeah. Bob has really been standing on his head, having a top-notch season again. We know the type of goaltender he is from his past. But really keeping the guys in there. And honorable mention, dude, we got to talk about Ekblad having a hell of a season for them. Huberdeau, I mean, these guys are scary when they're on the ice. When I see that line out there, I'm like, oh God.
Man, and this is why, how do you not pick them going into the first round against the wild card, regardless if it's your team as the wild card or not? They've had such a great regular season, and they have so much depth. It's like, how do you not pick them? But they just have not been playing the same hockey that we're used to. Obviously, we know they can turn it on late, and they've done that. Yeah. But this isn't the same team, and that's a blessing for Washington, because if they were in stride with one another right now, Florida that is, with Bob playing the way he is, they'd be unstoppable. Yeah, because Bob has really been deadly. Yeah,
and this is what's scary about the Panthers: 10 different goal scorers in this playoff series, and Duclair hasn't been one of them yet.
Wow.
So they still and nor has Hornquist. they've got these.
And those options. Are guys that can score. Hornquist being a guy who knows what it takes to win in the playoffs as well, and gets in those gritty areas. Duclair, finesse player, has a beautiful shot. Can dangle. So to hear that they're not even on the board yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I mean. They're still. I think the Panthers still have a little bit more left to unlock. But I mean, it's like as do the Capitals. You know what I mean? I feel like this is going to be this might go to 7 here. Let's retouch on this. Silk had Florida in 5. I had Caps in 7. And it's a 2-2 series.
Hey, this is one of those series where I'm glad to be proven wrong. Yeah. I would love for the boys to prove me wrong. I went with the analytics here on this one, but the experience is really paying off. Ovi really being I think he's been in best form as far as playoff that we've seen since 2008. Yeah. He's letting them rip. His back checking has been great, and then the physical play as well.
Yeah, making moves too. I was happy to see him making some moves and doing some classic OV toe drags and stuff, getting him in the mix. So, and I'm happy to see it. There's a couple of times where I wish he would have taken a look versus a shot.
They play tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm Fingers crossed. Love to be proven wrong.
The boys got it. I'm not worried about them. Let's touch on the last matchup here in the East, guys, which is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers, who and I really may have jinxed the Rangers hard here, boys.
Yep.
I really think I did it in. Just to recap here, Silk's got the Rangers in 6. I have them in 7, and I had the Rangers in my Stanley Cup final here, and Pitt's got the lead on them 3-1.
I don't even know what to say. Arguably the best goalie all year, Shesterkin, Vezina winner potentially gets yanked. Like, are you kidding? Let's not forget. Let's rewind a little bit. Regular season, Rangers beat Pittsburgh. Shesterkin is seen waving to Pittsburgh. Bye. See ya. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, it's not good. And
I was not expecting a 3-1 series out of this Pittsburgh one.
Me either.
And the games have been kind of blown out too. We got a 7-2 game, 7-4 game,
5-2, 4-3. So let's talk about the magic that is the Pittsburgh Penguins. One, Crosby.
Yeah.
Top notch. Wouldn't expect anything less from him.
Wayne Gretzky of our generation.
But let me tell you who's really turned on for the Pittsburgh Penguins that I've been watching. Jake Gunsel. He has got points in every single game. He's got a goal in every single game. He's taking advantage of the ice they're letting him have. And I think the pressure's off Gunsel when you got all eyes on Crosby.
And Malkin.
It's insane. Malkin, he's top form as well. Came back at the perfect time for his team. And those are three guys. I mean, that is I don't even want to imagine them on the ice together. What you have to do to play against them.
Letang has looked well as also. And then Domingo coming in after the spicy pork incident. They get an injury. He's eating spicy pork between overtime periods. Wasn't expecting to play. Comes in and has now been their goalie throughout the rest of the series and has played huge. Is he a star-studded goalie? No, but he's been playing playoff level hockey, and that's all they need to win. And sure enough, they're taking on the Rangers, who have a star-studded offense with Panarin, Kreider, Zibanejad, and they're running away with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's the thing is, I really thought New York had all the pieces of the puzzle, and I think they do. But for whatever reason, right now, it's not clicking. I don't know why it's not clicking. You got guys like Kreider, Adam Fox, even getting Lafreniere on the board.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Producing Adam Fox. Yeah, it's crazy to think about the way they're kind of self-collapsing now.
It's wild, and I really put all my eggs in this Rangers basket. Maybe it's because I didn't want to worry about the Pens, but I really thought that the Rangers they were top notch coming into this postseason. I didn't think this was going to be a walk for them. I said it was going to be in 7 because I know what Pittsburgh's capable of. But let me tell you, Pittsburgh's all gas right now, leading this series 3-1.
Yeah, and maybe it's a testament to what we've seen the last few seasons. Obviously, last year they didn't make the playoffs, but they were right on the outskirts, right? And we were like, okay, next season or two, they're going to be the team. They really had a quick blow up, right? And I guess you could call it a glow up at this point because it's about to bite them in the ass. But they looked amazing this year. Chris Kreider having a career year, making a run for the Rocket. Blase Blash, Shesterkin playing Vezina. When you have a Rocket contender and a Vezina contender on the same team, that's scary stuff. Exactly. Where's the playoff experience? Though? And we're starting to see that's just not there. And they're not playing playoff hockey. They got to take it to the next level. Pittsburgh knows what it takes.
Oh yeah,
and their three leaders, Malkin, Crosby, and Letang, guys, they've held the cup. They've held the cup. So anyone that was doubting anything in that locker room has now bought in. And that whole team is on the same page right now.
Yeah, and they're still a dominating force. Not to put the Rangers down, but man, the Pens are a dominating force, and they're all healthy right now. And coming into this postseason, and people were counting them out. I didn't want to count them out.
We were one of them.
Yeah, but the way their regular season was going, and then here they are. It's crazy.
What do we have? You have them in 7, or
I have Rangers in 7. You have Rangers in 6,
and it's a 3-1 series. So more than likely, we're both wrong.
That's tough. That's not the one I want to be wrong on. I really don't want to be wrong on that one. But here we are.
Tough. Been a crazy battle so far in the first round. We're not done yet. By the time we come back next week, we'll probably be going more into the second round.
Yeah, second round should be started.
Yeah, we'll be much closer to that and have a whole new matchup to talk about. But man, if you haven't watched any playoff hockey this year, do it. I've even been staying up late and been miserable the next day just to watch the late games, some of them, because they've been so close. It's midnight, 2-2 game in the third. How do you turn that off? How do you say I got to go to bed? It's so tough to do. Maturity's not there for me in that aspect. My priorities are fucked up.
I've been doing training with the iPad right here next to it. I was like, yes! I was like, what am I? Nothing. But just watching it, man, it's some of the best puck that we've ever seen, and it's only going to continue to get better and better, especially this playoff series.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of the playoffs before we get out of here, we had the lottery. The NFL draft, NHL lottery, draft lottery happened. Number 1 pick, Montreal Canadiens.
What's his name? Shane Smith?
Shane Wright.
Yeah. Number 1 pick as of right now.
Yeah, potential number 1 pick. So we'll see what the Canadians do. I like the signing of St. Louis. What we saw he did with Caulfield instantly.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's able to turn it around. We'll see what happens to Carey Price. Carey Price has been going through a roller coaster of things that we might have seen the last of Carey Price. We may never see him touch the ice again. Yeah, so let's hope he has a good, healthy mental health,
just recover.
Summer break, and get back on pace and decide if he comes back, great for the NHL. Arguably one of the best goalies in the league still. Yeah. We saw that last year. He helped carry his team to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's crazy to think. Stanley Cup Finals last year and you lose. Now your first round draft pick this year. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. So not to get off track here, but I'm kind of excited to see what happens going into the offseason.
Definitely. I think it's going to be an active offseason this year. A lot of guys are going to be moving around. I really feel like that. A lot of contracts, especially the salary cap went up $2 million. You might be able to get squeeze 1 or 2 fourth line guys in that you didn't really expect to have.
Yeah, like we talked about Nashville, Forsberg, what's going to happen there? If Edmonton gets knocked out first round, what do we see? Toronto, if they get knocked out first round. There's going to be some moves there. They're always moving players. So definitely could be a crazy turn of events, and we could have whole new setup going in next year.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's definitely, there's a lot of heat left in this Stanley Cup race. I'm excited to see where this goes. Definitely could be some upsets. Definitely could be some personal upsets. And I don't know. We'll see, man. It's been an exciting series so far, and I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see how these play out. Obviously, we are not fucking experts on this. And we talked about this. One of the sports you can't gamble on is hockey because you never know what you're going to get. We based everything off analytics and regular season play. And look at the way things go in Washington, trying to keep up pace and almost knock out the President Trophy winners. The Rangers playing like complete doo-doo. You got Calgary who's leaving St. Louis in the battle. Nashville couldn't even win a game. So it's been a crazy turn of events this first round, but it's been exciting. That's for damn sure.
It's been exciting, guys. Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our YouTube channel's up. This is where this video, if you're watching it, this is where you found it. But, be sure to check that out. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of it, guys. It's there. Be sure to check out the TikTok, the Instagram. We got stuff bumping over there as well. And, man, I'm excited to see where this series goes. And, next week it's going to be totally different, round 2.
Yeah, and it gets more exciting every round we go.
Yeah, it's only going to keep getting better.
Yep. Well, as always, boys, we appreciate you. Like you said, go like, subscribe, follow, and until next time.
Be well, guys.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at silkymitsHC.com.